If you want to create big success and you want to have big wins, you're going to have to feel uncomfortable a lot of the time. Fear won't fund your future. Bold moves do. You have to be in it to win it, right? High risk, high reward. You've heard that before. In order to actually get to the point where you get big wins, you have to also put yourself into big situations, which can often lead to the feeling of big risk. That's one of the biggest reservations people have, why they don't take that leap on their journey to move forward. It's because of the feeling of risk. It's a very uncomfortable feeling. Feeling complacent is the average person's go-to. They don't like change. They like to feel comfortable. They like to go to the same grocery store. They like to see the same people. They like to have the same daily routine. You take that person out of that daily routine and you put them into an unknown. They're going to feel the opposite. They're not going to feel warm and fuzzy inside. They're going to feel like they have a wall up. They're going to feel uncomfortable. They're going to feel nervous, maybe scared. And that's not a feeling that most people like to endure. If you want to go along the journey with somebody that's having great success and big wins, you're going to have to feel uncomfortable a lot of the time. Whether you're doing it yourself or you're on the journey with someone else that is, to learn from, to work for, you're going to have those feelings of uncomfortableness. As a human, our automatic default is to go back into our shell, hide, and go back to what we were doing that made us feel good. People do not like the feeling of risk. It's always a question that comes up when you're making decisions in your mind, whether you're subconsciously thinking about it or you're consciously saying it out loud. It's an organic function and feature that's going to happen anytime that you're contemplating these type of decisions. In order to get past that complacent feeling, I'm going to say it again and again, you absolutely need to put yourself into situations that do not make you feel comfortable. Listen, I'm not the first one that have said this. If you haven't heard this before, this may be the first time you've ever listened to somebody in business that's ever done anything in their lives, which I highly doubt. You've heard this before. You have to get past the shade and feeling cool to actually experience the sun, right? Take yourself out of that cool and comfortable situation. Put yourself out there. Take risks, right? Like, this is a broad statement right now, but you need to take that information and break it down to what works for you. So let's work through an example together. Let's say that for you, you have a W-2 job and you're an employee, and you have this feeling inside of you, this burning desire that you want to do more with your life. You just don't feel like you want to be complacent anymore, but you're so nervous to take that next step. And all of these thoughts that go through your head, right? It's fear. Fear is just waving over you like a black cloud. And in the back of your head, you're just thinking, what happens if I don't make it? Am I ever going to be able to get a job again? Am I ever going to be able to get a job that can match what I'm making now? But the people aren't going to like my resume because I have some kind of gap period in there that I went out on my own venture. How am I going to explain that? I'm no longer marketable. I'm not attractive to the job market. I have a family that relies on me. I have children. I have friends that rely on me. I give to charities that rely on me. Whatever it is, you have a responsibility that you're worried about deploying that risk with. In that, everything that you're feeling, you should feel. You're human. This is normal. I can tell you there's no billionaire that has not felt those feelings. There's no centrimillionaire that has not felt those feelings. Decamillionaire or even millionaire. Any of the people that have gone to that type of success has put themselves in situations that they were not complacent in. All of that is absolutely positively normal. That means that you're not a robot. Congratulations, you have feelings. This is good. But in order to take that next step, you need to face some of those fears. You have to face some of those reservations. You have to face them head on and figure them out and address them one by one. What exactly are you scared of? Break that down. Okay, so if it's losing your job, right? And it's not being able to get another job, is that really what's going to happen? Are you really never going to be able to get another job again? As an employer, if I had somebody come in and tell me their story, that they took a risk to make themselves better, to get to that higher performance point and achievement point, that's somebody I want to listen to. I want to hear more about their story, because that means they can now do this for my company. I don't want to hire somebody that's just going to be stagnant and is just going to coast and be on autopilot every day? No. I want to hire that person that's taken risk before to try to better themselves. So don't look at it as a negative thing, right? So from a support standpoint, of course, I'm not going to tell you to just put all your cards on the table and just financially put yourself in an upspin. That absolutely shouldn't be the case. But what I'm going to tell you right now is the God honest truth. There'll never be the right time in your life to do it. It's not going to happen. You could wait and wait and wait again. You're going to get real tired of waiting because you're never going to feel 100% right about doing it. It doesn't exist. There's not the time. You have to just execute, right? That's the key to success. Execute and do it fast. One of the top tips I just gave you there, that's a nugget. Execute. So financially, you're concerned of a change, of an abrupt change. And that's absolutely not suggested. You should definitely go in with a plan. You should have some kind of income coming in, of course, before you change from a W-2 to whatever your burning desire is. You want to do some tests, and you have time to do all of that. You can do it at night. You can do it on the weekends. You could do it before. You could do it on your lunch break. You have to just carve out and prioritize that time, right? So you can build a foundation where you can do proof of concept. Proof of concept is so important to do when you make a big change where you're in a situation that you have others relying on you, including yourself, that if you make this change, it will fundamentally affect your financial and living well-being situation and maybe your mental health. You absolutely should not just execute at that point. So take what I say with a grain of salt. Of course, there's a process before you practice, right? That could be different for anyone. You could test out if it's a service-based business. Let me try this out with a few clients, get feedback, better the process, improve it, and boom, now I'm going to go. If it's online digital marketing that you want to create, I'm going to test it out with a few clients. And let's see, if it's a product, test out some sales, do some surveys, do some intakes, and find out what people think about the product. What would they price it at? What would they buy it on? Get a wait list going, so that you have something coming in. But if you're still developing a physical product, that when you leave your position that you're able to fulfill on from a wait list, maybe take deposits up front or take payments at a discounted rate with founder rates. There's all different options you can do to secure yourself. Of course, you cannot guarantee what's going to happen next year. But if you're the person that wants to execute and drive and have continued success, let me tell you something. Sometimes having all that weight on you is exactly what you need to drive to the point of success. What I mean by that is I've followed so many stories over my career and over my lifespan of before even podcasts come out. One of my favorite things to do is to listen to other people's stories of how they got to where they are now. And what happens quite frequently is a lot of these founders that are here in the United States came in as immigrants, either by themselves, not knowing any English, or with their family who also did not know any English at any point. And they were in this just like fight or flight mode, survival mode, like this is all I have. It's now or never. I have nothing to lose. Like I'm going to give this everything, right? Like it can't be worse than what I've come from, and I already have nothing, so I have nothing to lose. In that mindset, they've driven to just persevere, and it's just absolutely commending and so impressive what they've done. And to be able to just push through when they've had all of these barrier challenges, like economically, like from a community standpoint, from a language standpoint, all odds are working against you, and you drive, baby, you drive until you drive and you get home, you drive to your destination. And that's what these individuals have done. So sometimes having everything rely on you doesn't feel like a healthy and preferred option, but sometimes it's exactly what you need to push you to break that barrier, break that wall down, and get to that next level. If you want to hear more content like this, come and follow me. My Instagram is Danielle Michelle Ventures. We'll link it here as well. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've done all sorts of things, from having physical products, inventions, patents, to brick and mortar businesses, service-based businesses, been through an exit for multi-million dollars, and now I'm currently building a billion-dollar company and part of a private equity company. So come join me along my journey. And I'd love to help you along by giving you tips and insights that have worked for me, help motivate and inspire you, and hear about your journey as well.